How do you get to Carnegie Hall? You practice. How do you get better at IDPA? I'll bet you it's the same way. That's what's coming up. Hey folks, and welcome to 9mm Tuesday here on Get on Target with Link. We're back, and I'm still obsessed with IDPA. If you've been watching recently, you've seen me compete in my first IDPA event, and I was terrible, but I had a great time. The people at Colonial Shooting Academy's IDPA group were just fantastic and just made me feel so welcome, and I had a great time. I did a terrible job, but I had a great time, and it gave me the fever to go back and try it some more. But I want to get better. I want to move up the ladder. So how do you do it? You practice, and we're going to talk about that today. If you've gotten bitten by the bug of competition with firearms, or just think that you might like it, you haven't tried it yet, but you're thinking about it, first of all, totally encourage you to do it. But second of all, it's not going to happen by accident. We're not going to get better just by
wishing and hoping and thinking and praying.
Going to have to work at it. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm doing here at my house in dry fire practice to try and get better. Different tools that I'm using, different ways to get started on working on improving on the skills that you need to be successful. Stick through this and watch through to the end. You'll get some ideas and some specific tools to use. I want to throw a shout out to Ben Steger and Chris Synog, who have been really fundamental. We'll talk about them a little bit later in the video, but they've been really fundamental in getting me started in taking it a little more seriously and finding out what I have to do in order to improve. Really helpful, really helpful. I'm going to have some links during this video, not only to some of the things that I've been doing here and sharing with you, but also what I call the real experts, which are not me, that have been guiding me along my path. And they can be very helpful to you too, and I encourage you to check them out. This is a community of gun enthusiasts, and this isn't the only place to stop by. Really appreciate that you do. These guys are going to help you a whole lot too. So let's take a look at my range right now. Okay, so we're here in my living room, and it doesn't look too untoward. It looks like a normal living room. But as we walk toward the balcony sliding door and look down into the study, we see that there is a range. And this is where this is where I train, and for better or worse. And I have just come up with a new target for my training. We're going to go over a couple of things here. But this is an official sized IDPA target. But in the middle, what you see there is a 1/3 size IDPA target. So they're superimposed on each other, so I can be looking at a authentic sized target for some of my shooting exercises. And if I want to replicate a distance shot, I can use the 1/3 size that's superimposed over the center circle. So this is really helpful. Other targets have been used in the past that are helpful for other types of exercises, and I'll show you that. This target with 5 bullseyes can be very helpful. I can acquire each bullseye sequentially, requiring me to find my new sight picture and squeeze off a shot. So this is another target that can be very useful for other types of drills. As many of you know, I use the G-Sight expert laser marksman system for a lot of my dry fire practice. It's a fantastic system. It incorporates the laser round that it gets loaded into the chamber of your firearm and shoots a laser hit onto the target, so you know if you've accomplished your goal, where your round would have hit. It takes a little bit of time to set that up. It has a great shot timer. I have 2 videos on the G-Sight system, and I'm going to give you some links to those. And definitely watch them. That's a great tool. But sometimes I don't want to go through the whole setup, and there is a simpler solution. Sometimes I just grab my phone, and there's a app, excuse me, an app called the Dry Fire Par Timer. You can download it from your app store, Dry Fire Par Timer. These are different drills that are already built in, but you can also create your own drills and input them into the app. So that's very helpful and really convenient. It's right here. Now you can set the length of time for the drill, how many repetitions of the drill, the delay in between the repetitions. The starting beep will be randomized, so you can't pre-prepare for that. That's an important element of it. Once you've reached it for maybe 10 repetitions, now reduce it by maybe 0.2 of a second, just a little bit, and then get 10 more repetitions that are successful and do it again. Ultimately, working your way up to the par times that are recommended for that drill by the app and by the instructors that I'm following through their written and online materials. Chris Sinog and Ben Stager. They're kind of my go-to guys, and you can see them on my playlist of the real experts as opposed to me. They're the guys that are pushing me to get better, and it's a shout out to you all. Fantastic stuff. The first piece of information that I got online that got me anywhere near the target and got me started came from Chris Sinog, and it was earth-shattering. It went from complete ineptitude to modest ineptitude. I could at least find the target and be somewhere close after this one tip from him that really made a big difference. So, if you're going to be competing, if this whole thing sounds intriguing, if you haven't done it yet, first of all, as long as you know the 4 rules of firearm safety, you got to know those before you go anywhere near a range. Know them like the back of your hand. But if you know those, and you can follow the safety rules that the IDPA requires of you when you're on the range and competing, compete. Get out there and try it. Be last. I certainly threatened it on my first go-round, and probably won't get much farther than that for a little while, but I'm going to work on it. And as long as you're safe, going to those events is probably the fastest way to increase your skill set. To actually do it in a competitive arena where there's pressure on you and you have you're forced to do your best and do your concentration and get on target. Doesn't mean you'll be successful, but you're going to be the best you can be at that time by competing. And as you go along, you'll get better. Or at least I think you will. That's part of what this journey is going to be about. I'm going to continue to have you follow me in my IDPA quest, in my working toward getting at least modestly competent. And if you can come along the journey with me, I'll share my embarrassment with you, taking that load off of you. Go out and compete. It can't be any worse than doing it in front of however many people are ever going to watch this. Hopefully one day millions. Help me out. Spread the word. But right now, it's in the hundreds, it's in the thousands of people that watch these videos, watching me be completely inept. If I can do that, you can do it in front of 5 or 8 people at the range. Go ahead and try it. It's fun. Here's an example of a simple drill that I programmed into the dry fire par timer. The par time is 2 seconds. So I have 2 seconds to draw my weapon and put one round into the down zero part of the target. I have 7 seconds in between each draw and fire to recharge the weapon, reholster it, and prepare. And I'm going to do it 5 times. That's the number of reps. Really simple. This is what it looks like. Par time of 2 seconds, 7 seconds in between reps, 5 reps. Here we go. 15 feet. And that's all there is to it. So you can invent your own drills. You can create anything you want to out of this. Like I said, there's a good list of about 10 different drills that are already built into it. And then just use your imagination. But this is great for a quick session at your target range. I can decide to shoot real time, the big target, the real life size target. Or I can challenge myself and get myself down. And I'm always shooting for the 1/3 size, but I'm okay if I get the real life one, because that's going to be a down zero score in a real IDPA match from 15 feet. Working it, I have the floor marked out at different increments, 5, 7, 9, 12, 15 feet, and 7 yards. So I can, and that is a huge range of distances when you are considering the 2 different sizes of targets, the 1/3 size and the full size targets. It's an incredible range of distances that you're practicing on. The draw and fire a single round drill that you're seeing on this episode is a really critical skill, because what it allows you to do, or what it requires you to do, is to find the sight picture quickly and pull the trigger without ruining that sight picture. You have to be able to have enough trigger control that you're coming straight back and maintaining that sight picture through the trigger pull. Those are fundamentals, absolute basics of getting around on target quickly and accurately. So that draw drill is much more than just a quick draw. That's not really everything that it's accomplishing. It's accomplishing the most basic part of firing in competition: acquiring a sight picture quickly and enough trigger control to not ruin that sight picture as you let go of a round. really important drill. Once you acquire the basic equipment, you have your firearm, you have your holster, the laser round is going to cost you anywhere from $40 to $70, depending on what you get. And I have found that there is a little bit of a qualitative difference in the less expensive to the more expensive laser rounds. But the G-Sight's been flawless. It's been absolutely great in my 9mm. But and your mag carriers. But once you have that equipment, the targets are next to nothing, and you can shoot these things forever for nothing. It just costs you nothing, and you can just practice and practice and practice. Great piece of advice that I've received through, I can't remember which of my favorite experts gave me this piece of advice, but said 15-minute sessions are about all you're going to be able to do effectively, at least without taking a break. You're going to need to take a break and you just get away from it, and then maybe go back and do another 15 minutes. But the game is mental. It's concentration. It's how you see, what you're looking at, and your focus, your total concentration on what you're trying to accomplish. And I find it fascinating as I'm waiting for the beep, and it's randomized, so I don't know when it's coming. And all the junk that goes through your head while you're just sitting there quietly waiting for the beep. It's an amazing amount of nonsense rushing through your head. And the quieter that you can make that noise inside your brain and simply focus on what you're trying to accomplish and put everything else out of your head, huge results from that. So this is a mental game, and it's a mental task. I find it fascinating. I think you might too. You may find it frustrating too, because at times I know I do. It's very frustrating to not being able to get the junk out of my head and being distracted from what my purpose is and not concentrating thoroughly on just that one goal. So that's it for 9mm Tuesday on Get on Target with Link this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it, got some ideas going about different ways to train. If you're just getting started, we're all beginners on this channel. That's what it's about. I'd love to hear from you. I want to hear down in the comments what you're doing. Do you dry fire? What kind of drills do you do? What equipment are you using? What firearms do you have? Have you competed in IDPA, or are you just thinking about it? What's holding you back from trying it? Anything, let me know. Leave a comment. Tell me what's going on. I want to learn from you. Hopefully you can pick up a little something from the channel here from me, and we'll go on the journey together and we'll get better together. It's a lot of fun, and it's challenging as all get out to me. So I think it probably is to anybody that's bothering to watch this. So don't forget, like the video, let some people know about it, have them come aboard, let's get this thing rolling. I just think there's a lot to gain from sharing it with each other. Subscribe to the video, ring the notification bell. We publish something on here every Tuesday and Thursday, so tune in, see what's going on, be part of it, be part of what's going on. Tell me what's happening with you and we'll talk about it. And until the next time that we see each other on Get on Target with Link, I will see you.